Let's talk about Ray Kroc. Most people know him as the founder of McDonald's, but here's what they don't know. Ray Kroc was 52 years old when he opened the first McDonald's restaurant. 52! He had been a traveling salesman for 17 years, selling paper cups and milkshake machines. By conventional standards, he should have been thinking about retirement, not revolution. But Ray Kroc understood something that escapes most people. Everything that came before was preparation. Every rejection he faced as a salesman, every long road trip, every difficult customer, it was all training for the moment when he would build the world's largest restaurant chain. When people asked him how he found the courage to start over at 52, Kroc would say, "I wasn't starting over, I was finally starting for real." Think about that. At 52, Ray Kroc wasn't starting over, he was finally beginning. Because everything before that moment was just preparation for his real work. Let me take you deeper into Ray Kroc's story. Born in 1902 in Oak Park, Illinois, Ray was an ordinary man with extraordinary persistence. After high school, he worked as an ambulance driver, a jazz pianist, and eventually found himself selling paper cups for the Lily Tulip Cup Company. Nothing glamorous, nothing that suggested he would one day build a global empire. For 17 years, Ray drove from restaurant to restaurant, city to city, selling paper cups and later milkshake machines. 17 years, that's longer than some people's entire careers today. He faced rejection after rejection. Restaurant owners would look at this aging salesman and wonder why they should listen to him. Some days, he didn't make a single sale. Other days, he slept in his car to save money on hotels. But here's what Ray was actually doing during those 17 years. He was earning his PhD in restaurant operations. Every diner he visited, every kitchen he walked through, every owner he talked to, he was studying. He learned what made restaurants successful and what made them fail. He understood efficiency, customer service, and most importantly, he learned to spot opportunity where others saw only problems. In 1954, at age 52, Ray heard about a small restaurant in San Bernardino, California, that was ordering an unusual number of milkshake machines. Most salesmen would have simply filled the order and moved on. But Ray was curious. Why did this little hamburger stand need so many machines? That curiosity led him to drive from Chicago to California to see for himself. What he found changed everything. The McDonald brothers, Richard and Maurice, had created something revolutionary, a streamlined system that could serve quality food quickly and consistently. They called it the Speedy System. But Ray saw something the brothers couldn't see. He saw scalability. He saw systems. He saw the future of American dining. The McDonald brothers were content with their one successful restaurant. Ray saw 1,000 restaurants, 10,000, a global empire. Picture this scene. It's 1954. Ray Kroc is standing outside a small hamburger stand in San Bernardino, California. He's 52 years old. His hair is graying. His best years, by society standards, are behind him. He has a comfortable job selling milkshake machines. He could continue his routine, make decent money, and retire in comfort. But as Ray watched the McDonald brothers' operation, the precise movements, the systematic approach, the consistent quality, something ignited inside him. This wasn't just about hamburgers. This was about a revolution in how America would eat. The brothers were skeptical. Who was this 52-year-old salesman from Chicago, and why did he think he could franchise their concept? They had tried franchising before with disappointing results. But Ray Kroc had something they didn't. The wisdom that comes from 17 years of failures, rejections, and lessons learned on the road. Look, you've created something amazing here, but you're thinking small. I'm thinking big. I've been in restaurants across this country. I know what people want, and I know how to give it to them. What Ray Kroc possessed at 52 that he didn't have at 32 was perspective. He had seen enough businesses to know what worked and what didn't. He had made enough mistakes to avoid the common pitfalls. He had built enough relationships to know how to find the right partners in each market. When Ray Kroc opened his first McDonald's franchise in Des Plaines, Illinois in 1955, he didn't just copy the McDonald Brothers system, he improved it. He had learned from 17 years of watching restaurants fail, and he knew that consistency was everything. But here's where his age became his greatest asset. A younger entrepreneur might have rushed to open dozens of locations quickly. Ray understood that sustainable growth required the right foundation. He spent months perfecting operations, training procedures, and quality standards. He created detailed manuals, standardized recipes, and established strict protocols. Young entrepreneurs often scale too fast and crash. Ray scaled systematically because he had learned patience through decades of experience. He knew that cutting corners early would create problems later. He had seen enough businesses fail to know that sustainable success required doing things right, not just doing them fast. Every rejection Ray faced as a salesman taught him something valuable about running McDonald's. When restaurant owners criticized his paper cups, he learned about customer preferences. When they complained about price, he learned about value propositions. When they refused to see him entirely, he learned about persistence and timing. By 52, Ray had developed what we might call rejection immunity. He had been told no so many times that it no longer discouraged him. Instead, each no had taught him how to get to yes more effectively. This emotional resilience, earned through decades of sales experience, became crucial when building the McDonald's franchise network. Young entrepreneurs often give up after the first few rejections. Ray Kroc had been vaccinated against rejection by 17 years of sales. He understood that no often meant not yet or show me more value, rather than never. What made Ray Kroc's McDonald's different from other restaurants wasn't just the food, it was the systems. And systems thinking comes with experience. You have to have worked in enough chaotic environments to appreciate the value of order. You have to have seen enough inconsistency to understand the power of standardization. At 52, Ray had worked in enough disorganized businesses to know that success at scale required systematic approaches. He created operations manuals that covered everything from how to cook fries to how to clean the restaurant. He established training programs, quality standards, and performance metrics. A 25-year-old might have focused on the glamorous aspects, the marketing, the expansion, the media attention. Ray focused on the fundamentals that would make the business sustainable for decades. He understood that boring consistency beats exciting chaos every time. Perhaps most importantly, Ray Kroc built McDonald's not as a personal empire, but as a system that could operate without him. This long-term thinking is characteristic of entrepreneurs who start later in life. They're not trying to prove themselves, they're trying to create lasting value. Ray knew he might only have 15-20 productive years left. This urgency forced him to build systematically and train others effectively. He couldn't do everything himself, so he had to create systems and develop people. This constraint actually made McDonald's stronger. Young entrepreneurs often struggle to delegate because they feel invincible and believe they can do everything. Mature entrepreneurs understand their limitations and build accordingly. Ray's age forced him to think systematically from the beginning. By the time Ray Kroc died in 1984, McDonald's had become the world's largest restaurant chain. He had lived to see his 52-year-old beginning transform into a global empire serving billions of customers worldwide. What started as a single franchise in Des Plaines became a cultural phenomenon that changed how the world eats. But here's the crucial point. None of this would have been possible if Ray had started at 25.
He needed those 17 years of preparation. He needed the wisdom that comes from failure, the patience that comes from experience, and the systems thinking that comes from seeing countless businesses struggle with growth. Right now, someone reading this is at their Ray Kroc moment. You're looking at your career, your experience, your accumulated wisdom, and wondering if it's too late. You're 45, 50, 55, maybe even 65, and everyone around you is talking about young entrepreneurs. But you have something they don't have: preparation. Every job you've held, every challenge you've faced, every skill you've developed, it's all been training for what comes next. Your failure to achieve massive success in your 20s and 30s wasn't failure at all. It was preparation. Ray Kroc's story isn't unique. It's archetypal. It's the story of preparation meeting opportunity, of wisdom applied to the right moment, of experience finally finding its purpose. And if you're over 50, it could be your story too. The question isn't whether you're too old to start something great. The question is whether you're ready to recognize that your greatest achievement might still be ahead of you. Ray Kroc was 52 when he built the foundation of a global empire. What will you build with your accumulated wisdom? Your golden arches are waiting. The only question is, are you ready to build them? Because success isn't about youth. It's about wisdom, experience, and the courage to begin again. And you, right now, at this moment, have everything you need to create something extraordinary. Your time isn't over. It's just beginning. If this story inspired you, leave a like and tell me in the comments, what unique skill have you developed over the years? I want to know your story, and maybe it becomes our next video. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, that it's never too late to start over, share this video. Sometimes a story like this is exactly what someone needs to take the first step towards a new life.